Hello everyone and welcome to another flight in a Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are in South Asia today, in this very mountainous region. We are starting off in Bhutan today at Paro International Airport, and we're going to do a short hour and a half flight to Kathmandu, Tribhuvan International Airport over in Nepal. Now, Paro Airport is one of the most challenging airports to get into, if not the most challenging airport to get into in the world. As you can see, the airport itself is surrounded by high terrain pretty much on all sides. There are no published departures out of here. Everything is pretty much visual, and a great deal of the approaches are pretty much visual as well. So there are only quite a handful of pilots that are certified to land at Paro, because one needs additional certification to land here due to the challenging nature of the airport. But for today we are going to just depart from here, which, make no mistake, is not easy, but I think it's a lot easier than the arrival into the airport. We are going to take the Airbus A319 today. Is the smaller one of the A320 family that was released by Fenix a couple of weeks ago. We are going to fly as Druk Air, which is a Bhutanese airline that flies the route that we are flying today from in between Paro and Tribhuvan over in Nepal. The scenery that you are seeing right now is very nice. It's a default scenery that comes with the flight simulator, with a few enhancements on the ground textures, especially on the markings, but everything else is pretty much default. So really good scenery, considering that it is default scenery. So yeah, weather is quite nice, visibility is good for our departure out of here, seeing that everything we're going to fly is going to be visual up to a waypoint that we're going to aim towards it once we are safely above the terrain. Okay, so this is, as you can see, we pretty much circled the airport, and it's just high mountains everywhere you can see, so I can imagine how nightmarish it must be to land at this place if you are the pilot, especially if visibility is not that good. But at the same time, must be very interesting if you are not terrified of flying into here as a passenger. So yeah, we are going to see how the departure is going to go. Out of here, as I mentioned, there are no published departures out of this Paro airport. Everything is going to be visual, so yeah, I should be fine. Let's quickly head over to our aircraft. Okay, there is our aircraft, Druk Air by Royal Bhutan Airlines. The airport buildings are also just quite nice. It's got like a nice style. I guess this is locally inspired architecture. Looks really good. Okay, we have got a GSX profile for this place as well, so our passengers are going to walk from the terminal straight into the aircraft, rather than being brought to the aircraft by a bus or via a jetway. Okay, there is our minibus. We call it the minibus. The Airbus A319 is the smaller one of the A320 family. So let's hop into the cockpit and start preparing for our flight. Okay, here we are in the cockpit of our Airbus A319. We are starting cold and dark today, so let's do the usual. Batteries on, external power on, and you can switch on a couple of these systems. Over here, ground control, inertial navigation system, we can start the alignment process. Fuel pumps can come on it as well. Okay, systems are self-testing, so let's go on to our EFP over here so we can import our flight from SimBrief. We are simulating a different time of day today. It's 3:50 Zulu, so let's just correct that. 3:50, so let's say maybe we give ourselves 30 minutes to get out of here and set up everything. And then we can go to the mass and balance page. 103 passengers planned today, cargo 1,545 kilograms, and then planned fuel 5,451, which are going to round up to 5,500. We're going to say apply and load the aircraft using GSX.
Refueling truck is on its way. Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Okay. Another thing that I'm going to ask is there was a additional service added by GSX, or two additional services added by GSX. That is the lavatory service as well as the water service that we are going to try out today. We're going to start off with the water service. I'm sure that one can actually, or rather this being a local airline, can
Catering potable water service has been requested.
uplift water from
Fuel truck is in
Leeds
position.
home airport. And then in the meantime, let's have a quick look at our operational flight plan. There we are. Druk 400 is our call sign for today from Paro International to Tribhuvan International over in Kathmandu, Nepal. Cost index today 36. Cruising altitude is going to be flight level 380. Our alternate today is Victor Echo Golf Kilo, Gorakhpur Airport, which is in India. I hope that we don't have to fly there. I haven't actually checked the weather at Kathmandu, but we will check, I guess, once we are briefing the weather. Fuel, we had a look at 5,500 kilograms of fuel is what we are going to load into the aircraft. Our routing is going to start off from runway 33 today at Paro, and then to the waypoint Takti. Everything in here is visual, and then direct Subsu, and then Tumli, and then Golf 348 airway, and then Kimtitu Romeo is going to be our arrival for runway 20 over in Kathmandu. Passengers, we have seen 103, cargo 1,500, payload therefore is 9.8 tons, and therefore our takeoff weight is about 56.9 tons. Let's have a look at on the outside, on the water process, on the uplifting of water, and then we can have a look at the weather briefing. Okay, there we are. We have got a potable water truck pumping water into the tank of the aircraft. Now the Fenix, of course, doesn't have a lid, a flap here that opens, so that should be okay. Hopefully they add it in a new update. But otherwise, there is our catering services ongoing as well, and we have got a fueling truck loading the fuel. Potable water truck is done, so that is fine. I'm going to try out the other service as well, so we can just pretend that it didn't start cold and dark, and that we need the lavatory service as well.
Service has been requested.
And then we see how it goes. That's the truck coming, I guess, the one for the poop, coming to empty out the aircraft's waste tank. The scenery in this place is quite nice, really looking good, especially in this kind of weather with some okay-ish looking clouds, not too scary, but yeah, Not scary, at least if you are flying out of here, but I'm sure they will be scary if you are flying into this place. There's a lavatory service ongoing, so quite nice that GSX has added these two services onto the ground services. Okay, weather briefing, there we go. Weather here, we've got some variable wind, 5 knots, visibility is okay. We've got some scattered clouds at 2,500, broken at 6,000, temperature 22, and temperature 22, and QNH 1015. And then our destination has got some few clouds over there as well at 1,000, and then few at 2,500, scattered at 3,000, broken 10,000, temperature 22, QNH 1011. We are going to have a look at this much later. We're going to brief it much later once we are close to Kathmandu. So for now, we are not going to worry too much about what is happening over there. We want to start the APU now that the fueling is done, but we're going to do our APU fire test first. There we go. We have got the APU fire test done, so we're going to go APU master switch, APU start. And then while we are here, we can do the engine fire test as well. Engine number 1 fire test, engine number 2 fire test. Okay, that is all good. So let's import our flight into the MCU as well. Our passengers are going to walk from the terminal, and then they are going to follow in a nice queue all the way down to the entrances. There we go. So we're going to go in it and request a route as well. Druk 400 is going to be our call sign for today. We said that our cost index is 36, not 46, and our cruising altitude is flight level 380, and with that we can do our wind uplink. The RS alignment is already done, and there's our passengers walking from the terminal to the aircraft. Very nice. Okay, here's wind uplink is completed. Just going to lower the volume now. We're going to go into the initb page. Block fuel, we looked at that already. It's 5.5 tons. That's loaded into the aircraft. APU is started, so we can do APU bleed now so that the passengers can get some air conditioning. It's a little bit cold, not too cold, but it's okay to get some air conditioning going, because it is 19 degrees currently. Okay, so let's go to messages and look at the load sheets, the most latest one. Zero fuel weight 51.6, and zero fuel weight center of gravity is 27.8, which we are not going to worry about right now, because we are going to have to check the final load sheet as well. Takeoff weight 56.9, 56.9, that looks okay. Contingency fuel is actually 0.6, and the alternate is 1.3 tons of fuel. That gives us minimum destination fuel on board of 2.3 tons, which is the same as what we have on our operational flight plan. That gives us also some extra 16 minutes of flight. Okay, passengers are boarding, so let's continue setting up our aircraft. So we can go to flight plan and our departure. We said that we are going to take off from runway 33. There are no published seats in this place, so everything's gonna be visual. And then from there we're gonna go taxi and then Subsu. Arrival into Kathmandu. We said that we are going to land on runway 20, which is going to be an RNAV 20. It's the only one that's available. That is that. Via the Kimti 2 Romeo, we said. Kimti 1 Golf, Kimti 2 Romeo is this one over here. So let's quickly have a look at that. So there, as you can see, there is nothing on here until taxi. But arrival into Kathmandu, we go Ratan, and then there's that big discontinuity over there. So let's have a look at the chart. There must be something over there. So Tribhuvan, arrival, Kimti 2 Romeo. Where are you? Kimti 1 Golf, Kimti 2 Romeo is this one here. Goes all the way to Ratan like we saw, and then our approach is going to be RNP runway 20 from Ratan. Okay, that's from Igris. Ratan is all the way here. Going to insert that. But in order to get rid of that huge discontinuity, we're going to go to Vias, and we are actually coming in through Ratan. That is that, and then we can insert that. Let's have a look at what it looks like now. So all of these waypoints, Ratan, and then Kilo Tango 450, 448, 446, 444, 442, and then Birup is over there. After Birup we go Kilo Tango 421, 419, 418, and then on the arrival. So that looks all good to me. So let's have a look. So let's do that. We can dismiss that, set our cruising altitude of flight level 380, and then we are going to set our transponder to 2000 for VFR. I don't know if that's the VFR code in this region, but I guess that is fine. We have our final load sheet, so let's go. Init B page 51.7 is a zero fuel weight now. Zero fuel weight center of gravity is 27.8. That is fine. 5.5 is the block fuel. Takeoff weight 57.0, 57.0. That is in agreement. We're going to accept that load sheet, and we are happy. Okay, let's check the latest QNH. Do we have meta information over here today? Is QNH 1015? Nothing available now. Went offline, I guess. 1015, I believe that's what we have on the operational flight plan as well. Paro, where are you? There we go, QNH 1015. Okay, that is fine. I think we are okay now. We can disconnect the external power and ground control and ask for departure. We can do the cockpit preparation checklist already. Gear spins and covers are removed. Fuel quantity is 5,480. Confirmed. Seatbelt sign is on. ADRs are set to nav. Parameters are set. QNH 1015. Cockpit preparation checklist is complete. Before startup checklist, parking brake is set. Takeoff speeds and thrusts are not yet calculated, so let's do that now. Runway 33 is our departure runway today. We're going to do a max off takeoff. Sync up the final load sheet. Let's have a look at the weather, which is no longer available for some reason. So let's see if I can get it here off screen. Paro International. Okay, wind is variable at 0.5. Temperature is 22, QNH 1015. And with that we can calculate. Seeing that everything is visual over here, I think I'm going to 124 Stoga and recalculate that. So 125, 125, 130, flaps 1, travel horizontal stabilizer 1 degree up. And we're going to send that to the MCU, and with that we are pretty much ready to go. Takeoff speeds and thrust are calculated. Windows are both closed and beacon light is on. Okay, with that we are ready to go. Gonna say okay, continue pushback. We are going to take off from runway 33, so we're going to do a nose left today.
Release parking brakes, please.
So parking brake is released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wind.
Okay, there we are, getting pushed.
Cabin crew armed on cross check.
Okay, we are almost done with the pushback. We can start our engines. Okay, engine number 2 start. We're going to need the terrain and navigation display a lot today.
Reset parking brakes.
Parking brake is set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Alright, stand by for a good engine start.
Cabin crew member closest to you, as we are about to.
We are going to need the terrain and navigation display a lot today in order to avoid all the high terrain areas. We are going to get a lot of GPWS warnings, of course. We are going to keep it on though.
Airbus A319.
As annoying as it may be, we're gonna need to keep it on in order to keep getting the terrain and navigation display over here. Engine number 2 is started, so engine number 1 can get started and we can release the
Cockpit to ground.
ground.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Life jackets and the brace position, which you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft.
Okay, well we are here, we can do flaps 1 for takeoff.
Please be aware that your nearest usable
The spoilers, auto brake max.
Emergency lighting will guide you to an exit. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board. Unlocking here. Seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released. Must be fastened whenever the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times.
Are there passengers animated? No, they are not for some reason in this aircraft. Maybe GSX and Phoenix can push an update for that. Engine number 1 is started, so this can go to normal and we can switch off the APU as well. We can switch on our wing lights.
If we land on water, take a life jacket from under
With that we can do the after start checklist. Anti-ice not required, ECAM status checked.
Pass the tapes around
Pitch
your
trim
waist and
We said that we need 1 degree up today, so 1 degree up. There we go. Radar trim is set to 0.
If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow
0.
into this tube. There is a light
Okay,
and whistle for attracting attention. The cabin crew can assist you with
that is
life
all
jackets
good.
for
There
children.
is the ground
Tray table
crew
must
walking
melt
away,
stone.
so that means we
Armrests
are clear
down,
to go.
window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened.
Okay, and with that we can do our taxi to the runway. So taxi lights can come on, runway turn-off lights can come on as well, and then parking brakes off, and we can go. Add some thrust. And here we are. Okay, so we can do our flight control checks now. Ailerons, full left, full right, neutral. Elevators, full down, full up, neutral. Radar pedals, full left, full right, neutral. Flight control check is complete. Really good scenery here. Looks really good. I like it. I can't wait to land over here. We are going to do a return flight from Kathmandu, of course, so stay tuned for that. Okay, we are taxiing rather nicely, so now it's time to do the taxi checklist. Flight controls checked. Flaps set to 1 for takeoff. Radar and predictive wind shear on. Engine mode selector normal. ECAM memo. Takeoff config. Test. Cabin crew is still busy. The A319, I have a bit of problem with it on the flare because it requires quite a significant back pressure on the stick in order to get it to flare compared to the A320, and of course way more than the A319, which in my opinion is a little way too sensitive on the stick on the flare. So we're going to see
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure.
how the landing is going to be over in Kathmandu. So the runway over there is okay, it's quite long, but of course you don't really want to float it, even though you are in a rather light-ish aircraft. But we are hoping that we are going to have quite a nice landing. Maybe a little bit firm, maybe, I don't know, but we are going to see how it behaves today. Get this amount of detail here on freeway scenery. It looks really good. We are going to do a packs of takeoff for today. Runway is coming, so strobe lights can go on, landing lights can go on, packs can go off. And we can slow down, of course, and switch on the TCAS to TARA. Let's not overshoot the turn. Clear left side, clear right side. we are going to want to line up as far back on the runway as possible. Runway 33 is confirmed. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway confirmed. TCAS, TARA, packs 1 and 2 off. Lineup checklist complete. Okay, and with that we can start the clock and let's go. 50% power. Stable. Toga. Toga SRS, auto thrust blue. $80 knots. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Just look at that. We of course have to follow the valley if we wanna be safe from the terrain. So we are going to follow this valley over here to our left hand side. Set climb thrust. We are going to follow only the horizontal flight director now. Because everything is going to be visual, lateral wise. We are going to switch on the fastback. Just look at that mountainous area over here. We are going to make a right hand turn here in order to follow the valley.
Ahead. Pull
And
up.
there is the GPWS warning coming
ahead.
in.
Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
We are going to have to put up with it because we need the terrain
Terrain
on the
ahead.
navigation display
Pull up.
for us
Terrain
to make
ahead.
sure that we
Pull
are
up.
staying out of
Terrain
the
ahead. Pull up.
red areas.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
That's the second pack that we can switch on now.
Terrain ahead. Pull
Please
up.
keep your seatbelt fastened.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
We recommend keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Just look at that.
Remember that smoking is not permitted.
Looks really good.
Cigarettes. In just a few moments, we will commence
Scary if you are coming in to land.
offering you the chance
And probably if the weather is, the wind is not so good.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Mountainous areas like this can be full of drafts as the air is
Terrain
flowing
ahead. Pull up.
through the valleys,
Terrain
depending
ahead.
on
Pull up.
if you are too close to the one side of the mountain
Terrain
where you can
ahead.
be caught in
Pull
the
up.
stream that is either going down or going up.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
But so far we are going quite nicely. The valley is about to end, but
Terrain
you can
ahead.
see we have
Pull up.
quite some ample space here that's not red for us
Terrain
to fly
ahead.
into.
Pull up.
So for now, let's just enjoy the scenery
Terrain ahead.
over here
up.
in Bhutan. We are still accelerating. We're going to keep on the flaps
Terrain
one.
ahead.
The
Pull up.
slats are automatically retracting, of course, as we've seen there.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
That is automatic. The flaps themselves we are
Terrain
going to
ahead.
have to retract.
Pull up.
Actually, we
Terrain
can
ahead.
retract now. So
Pull
flaps
up.
0, and we can disarm the spoilers.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
We are
Terrain
still
ahead.
okay in terms
Pull
of the
up.
terrain.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
It does look like we are going to hit those mountains over there, but
Terrain ahead.
it only looks
Pull
like it
up.
from here as you can see, we are well clear
Terrain
of
ahead.
those, so
Pull up.
I'm sure we have more than enough separation between us and those mountains, so we can go outside and have a look. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we are going to clear them. So let's
Terrain
just keep
ahead.
flying.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Terrain ahead.
Terrain ahead. Pull
So
up.
we are going to keep climbing at roughly 2,000 feet per minute.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Our waypoint is gonna need us to do a left-hand turn,
Terrain
of course.
ahead.
So
Pull up.
now, any moment after this
Terrain ahead.
terrain over here,
Pull
we can start our left-hand
Terrain
turn
ahead.
towards
Pull up.
Dakti or Subsu.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Okay, there is like a small
Terrain
town in this
ahead.
valley again
Pull
here.
up.
I have no idea what that town is.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Okay, there we go. Subsu is going to be, or Takti rather, is going to be somewhere on our left hand side. I think we can just go direct to Subsu. We don't need to go Takti anymore. And now we can follow the flight director. Okay, for a while there, the flight director was stuck on the right hand side. We are passing the transition altitude, so altimeters can be set to standard. And actually, there appears to be a little bit of a shortcut there that we can take to Timli or Tumli. So then we can switch on the autopilot and we can follow that instead. We are well above the terrain now. 20,000 feet. We were too busy, so now we can switch off the landing lights. Look at that nice looking terrain. Really, really beautiful. This is the region of the Himalayas mountain. I don't know whether these are the Himalaya mountains. Should probably look them up on the map, but they are in this region. But the view outside is just spectacular. Snow-covered mountain tops on our right hand side here. That looks really good. We are going straight, so we can switch off the landing, not the landing, but the seatbelt sign as well, and release our passengers. So that is all good then. So for now, let's just enjoy our flight in the mountainous region here in South Asia, and I'll see you once it's time to brief for our arrival into Kathmandu. Okay, we are cruising at flight level 380 and our top of descent is coming up any moment now. So I think we can have a look at the rest of the approach. We are going to start off at Ratan today, 10,500, which is going to be our target altitude for today. 10,500 is our initial waypoint, so 10,500. There we go. So we are going to start our descent and then we can do our briefing. So there we go. So we are going to do manage descent. Received messages from our airline. We are not delayed. Okay, so we had a look at the arrival for Kimchi to Romeo U1 Golf. We are going to discard it. So Kimchi to Romeo, that goes all the way to Ratan. So Kimchi above 170, but we are not going this. So we are starting, or we are past Kimchi already. Are we? Okay. Yeah, we are past Kimchi. Okay, so that's all right then. We need more drag in order to catch up with our profile. Okay, there we go, catching up with the profile any moment now. So then Munau at 10,500, then Ratan. We're going to continue descending or level off depending on where we are by Munau, and then continue over Ratan, which is going to be our initial approach fix. And then from Ratan, which is all the way over here, we are going to then follow our approach on the RNAV and then fly hugging these mountains in this protected area, I'm assuming, and then land to the arrival runway. So the aircraft is asking for the destination information, so now is the time to check up on the weather as well for the arrival airport. There we go. So we have winds at 320 degrees at 6 knots, variable 290 and 360. Visibility is 5,000 or 5 kilometers. We've got some rain showers, few clouds at 1,000, and we have got some cumulonimbus as well, 1,500, scattered at 3,000, broken at 10,000, temperature 20, QNH 1014, towering cumulonimbus, southwest, west, northwest, northeast, east, southeast, and overhead. So we are still far, I guess, from Kathmandu, but I just don't see this weather outside, at least, having cumulonimbus clouds. But maybe that's just the issue with the weather engine or weather display. So performance page, we can insert that. QNH, you said, is 1014. Temperature 20. And wind is 320 at 6. 320 at 6. And then transition level is let's see now, 15,000. Flight level 150. Flight level 150. And then we're going to do a full config landing, of course. Now there is a speed error being mentioned there at 270 knots. We are still on the profile. I hope that it's all good. We have enough track miles. Our minimum descent altitude is going to be 4705 feet. That is, of course, let's have a look at the airport itself. Ground chart, and then we look at, this is just the airport briefing. There we go. So the airport itself is at the elevation of 4395. Okay. QNH 1014 is pre-selected. We are going above our speed target, so we are going to use the speed brake. And there's the weather starting to build, I guess. Maybe then now cumulonimbus clouds are going to show up. Now, after Ratan, we are going to join the approach. The RNAV, of course, RNP required for this is 0.3. But we are also going to extend the runway center line now. Going to the fixed info. Okay, speed brake can come off now. Runway 20. What is the outbound course? That is going to be 022. So there we go. We should have an extended runway center line now. Yes, there it goes. Okay. I think we are going to want the terrain on navigation display as well. There we have got the LDEV and VDEV coming now. So far, it looks like we are way above the profile. So let's see. We're gonna wanna go a little bit more, because right now the aircraft is prioritizing slowing down rather than following the profile. So So 8,800 is our next target. We are going to have the speed brake on all the way in order to contain the speed. .150 is coming. That is going to be our transition level as well. Cumulonimbus clouds. You don't really see towering ones. There is the transition level. Still way above the profile on the LDEV. We might have to go around, possibly, because up until now we haven't caught up with the profile yet. Scary clouds over to our right hand side. 7,900 is our next target. Okay, there we are now. We have the profile, so, and we have a little bit of overspeed there as well, 250 knots below 10,000 feet, or no, we are not yet 10,000 feet, but we are going to slow down now. We have the speed brake, of course, so we have just about contained our speed for the approach. 10,000 feet, we switch on the landing lights as well as the seatbelt sign, and we can do the approach checklist. Barometers set here on 81014. Seatbelt sign is on, minimums are set. Auto brake. Going to see what auto brake we are going to need for today. What is our weight now? There we have got the rain coming, rain showers that we have seen. 55.2. 55.2. That is okay. We can say that the runway is, I don't know, some medium maybe. That's still okay. We are going to do auto brake low, and we're going to go flaps 1 and retract the speed brake as well.
You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, magazines.
This is going to be quite an interesting approach, because as soon as we retracted the speed brake, the speed started to pick up again. But there is Kathmandu down below.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for landing.
Thank you. Okay, we are flaps 1. Still coming in a little bit too fast to make that speed restriction there. But we should be coming down to flaps 2 speed now, 200 knots, flaps 2, and we can slow down even further within the landing gear. So there we're going to make our turn in. Okay, there we go. So auto brake is set, engine mode selector is as required, approach checklist is complete. What is our go around altitude? Just look at that scenery down here. Go around altitude 10,500. 10,500. That is some nice scenery of Kathmandu.
2,500.
Checked. I think now it's time to go gear down. We still have the speed brake retracted because we are coming in a little bit too fast.
Terrain ahead.
This time around I am
Full
going
up.
to switch that off. Flaps 3. And now we can retract the speed brake. And we can arm the spoilers as well. Flaps full. And we are now configured for landing. Landing checklist. ECAM memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete. Visibility is a little bit poor. But let's see how it goes. It's not too bad. Okay, this one can come back on. Should be fine now. There is Kathmandu down below. Would have been nice if we had good visibility, but just look down there. So now let's see if we can spot the runway through this haze. I'm going to switch off the autopilot so we can get used to the stick sensitivity. Still can't see the runway through the haze. Should be somewhere on our left hand side. There is the runway in front of us. We have spotted it before our minimum descent altitude.
300 minimum.
We are on a profile according to the puppies.
100 50 40
Too
30
low. Terrain.
10 5
There we go again. Little bit of a firm landing, but I'll take that. You really need significant back pressure on the stick on this aircraft in order to do the flare. But it's okay. We brought it down in the touchdown zone, so that is all good. And now we can just roll down all the way. We are 40 knots. We can make a
Ladies and gentlemen,
exit to
the
our
cabin
right hand
crew will
side
shortly be leaving
on
their seats
the
to perform
side.
safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls, or internet access
Okay,
may
here
now
we
be
are
used.
at Tribhuvan International
Make sure to
Airport
take
in
all personal belongings with you,
Kathmandu.
checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat, and in the overhead lockers.
Very nice flight.
Do take care
Visibility
opening the
was
overhead lockers as
quite
items may have
poor.
moved during flight. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated
But it's
smoking
okay.
area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been
Beacon
our
light,
pleasure
not the
looking
beacon
after
light,
you
but the
today.
strobe light can come
Our ground
on now,
crew will help you
or
complete
off
your
rather,
journey.
and we can switch on the APU master switch. Okay, so weather radar can come off as well. and T-gas can come off. It's on standby already. The timer can stop. Flight directors can come off. And here we are. What stand are we going to take today? We can do walk-in, no bus. It's fine. We're going to go stand number 2. Show me the spot and activate. It's just over there. So that is fine then. Gate number 2. Okay, that's gate number 1 on our left now. And there we go. So these lights can come off. Taxi lights can come off. And we can make the turn into the gate now. Going to add a bit of thrust in order to make the turn. Okay, there we are. The air marshaller is not lined up with the line, so I don't know whether to follow him or follow the line. Maybe we follow the line, it's fine. He can complain and say that we didn't do a great job with the parking, but I blame the scenery. Okay, there we go. Parking brake is set, flaps are up, APU is started, APU bleed can get started, and with that we can switch off the engines. So engine number 2 and engine number 1 off, and we can read our arrival message from our airline as
Cabin
well.
crew, disarm doors.
There we go, 48 minutes of flight time today. Welcome to Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu, Nepal. We are going to switch off the fuel pumps as well, and then we can start the deboarding process. So beacon light is off, seatbelt sign can come off as well, and now here we are. Let's check that the chocks are in place, then we can release the parking brakes, and with that we have status flashing. Okay, it's gone now. And with that we can go through our checklist, our parking checklist. After landing checklist was only for the weather and predictive wind shear, which is already off. But our parking checklist, parking brakes and chocks, we have chocks in place, we have engines off, we have wing light off, and fuel pumps are off as well. So landing checklist, not landing checklist, but parking checklist complete. And with that we can have a look at the deboarding process outside. Still nothing animated from inside the aircraft, so maybe outside.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We can open this window as well
while walking down the street.
for some air. There is Tribhuvan International in Kathmandu. Also quite nice scenery. This is freeware scenery from flightsim.to. But also just the scenery around the airport with those buildings over in the background are quite nice. Looking forward to doing a flight from here when we possibly do the return flight to Bhutan. But I'm hoping that the visibility will be much better than it is today. Otherwise we don't get the nice views of the city down below. Okay, there are our passengers walking to the terminal, the international terminal, of course. We have the GSX profile for this airport as well, so that is certainly makes things a little bit much better in terms of the realism. But yeah, so the passengers are deboarding, the cargo is being offloaded, our baggage is being offloaded. So it was nice flying the A319. Of course, the landings are always a problem. I don't know whether to change my stick sensitivity, which I really don't want to, because I think it's okay for the other two aircraft of the A320 family, the A320 and the A321. So I think a couple more landing practices on this A319 will probably do the trick. So hopefully things will be much better next time. I am going to end the flight here. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to see you on another flight again.